That a lot of people cut themselves short because they don't want to deal with the city and they live out of fear. So I have some potential customers and they want to put a little sign. Now, technically they're allowed to have a sign and the whole thing that goes with it. I'm not going to get into it, but city people are going to pick on you for something because, they're not supposed to, but they hunt. Okay, and if they're diversified in the sense that they're not the regular community that built this community, or you're an outsider, they'll pick on you more, and it is what it is. They're gonna pick on something. These are like what do they call them? Like scrounges, scavengers. Okay, so they're gonna pick on something. So you have to do something, and then it'll satisfy them. So whether you put a sign or not, okay. They're going to pick on you or not. Whether you park there, whether you have an open sign, whether they'll pick on something. But for people to be incapacitated with the fact that they're not making money, they're not spending money, okay, on things they need with someone like me that's going to give them a deal. It doesn't matter, but, they would spend that money and enhance their business and improve their appearance in advertising so they can make more money and advertise to the people and grow as a business, but they're not allowed because they're in fear in their own mind of city workers that come around with clipboards and they're zoning officers. And I've been threatened by zoning officers in Seagrove, Florida, for sticking up for merchants. Funny enough, but anyway, it's like the whole thing about the zoning officers is and code enforcement is there's intimidation that goes with it, and it's gotten through to people. And there's literally families that I know that, okay, if I need money to pay my rent and I have this job and that job is going to be half the price of what it would cost for a computer to do or for the market rate, and it's just the fact that I can do it easy and it's no big deal for me. It's just time, because if I make a week's worth of work in 2 days, that's good enough for me. I don't have to be greedy. I can say, okay, I made 40 hours in 12 hours or 16 hours. Okay, so that's success to me in this society. So I can't pay my rent. They can't afford to pay that because they're scared and they're not going to make the money. And then the seasons come and go, and the fluctuating markets and times and even political things affect their business. And they have, times of devastation where, it's very scarce work, it's like peril, fucking desolate community out there shopping. And it could be more. So it's like, the intimidation thing, it's just ridiculous. What people find empowering, I can tell you what the things that were said to me by code enforcement for things, even owning a property. It's just absolutely childish. It's just bullying. It's like, oh, well, this is my area, and, it's not your job like that, and you should back off because you're hurting innocent American people or people that want to do business in America. And when somebody from a community decides to profile and be biased and discriminate and give extra, condemnation and limitation and citations because they have an interest or they are ignorant and mean, or they're benefiting somehow. What happens is that eventually there's a flip. So then the people they're cracking on, I'll say it, get in office somehow, or somebody like them, like I've seen in Fort Lauderdale with the Haitian and Latino community especially. Okay, and the Caribbean community. Like, they get in to be code enforcement officers and zoning commissioners and all that stuff, and then they allow their people to do things that I was prevented from doing because of this fear by the other group that started it. It really is crazy, and I am always caught in the middle to see this, and I see how it's just a defiling of thyself and thy own nation. And it's just really crazy because at times I'm limited for work. And, I don't have to be. And I don't use public assistance. And I could, but I'm not going to because I am still able-bodied. I'm only 50 years old. I am, as much as 50 years old. whatever, it doesn't matter. So this is not my course to go like that. So, I'm not condemning that, but I shouldn't have to feel deficits from this and then feel and to hear commercial stuff on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, providing information or advertising, or on buses and stuff, that I could get money not having a job, because the government owes me, and, Steve Harvey and Joe Rogan and, the other dude, objectifying dude, Tate, is going to tell me how to get free benefits, and, try to turn me on to socialism. It's part of the machine. And, the power is in the hand of the merchant, really, because the merchant knows the supplier, where to get the supplies, and the merchant knows the customer and how to reach the customer. And, that's a segue for me to live, to apply myself to the system. And I'm not allowed to because of the bullshit. And it just sucks, because, right now, I can say there's a bunch of jobs. Every year there's probably 10 jobs, where I would make X amount of dollars painting in art or signs or murals for people. And I'm not allowed because they're of fear of the code enforcement and stuff like that. But you got to take chances. And, if I'm working for you or with you, or I know you, and you have a legal problem, I already know that it's going to be unfair unless you have a lawyer in your family, because those people are facilitated with lawyers that your tax dollars pay for. So I have to find a way to protect myself. So I'll share that way with you in those circumstances to help fight the legal ramifications and, problems, that complications that will come your way from these people that are hunting that aren't supposed to be. Because in the context, it is what it is. There's tricks and loopholes, and it's the same thing they use to intimidate you and feel like they can get away with it. So you got to look at it from an administrative perspective instead of okay, eventually, I could get in trouble and the police could come eventually because I'll have it out with code enforcement. I'm going to tell him to fuck her to fuck herself, and that's going to start a problem. You got to look at it from an administrative way, and not just grumble and gripe and then go back into your business or your world and be like, I'm tough and I got all these guns and, I got money and millions of dollars in connections with your little code enforcement offer for fucking $27.85 an hour. Your tax dollars just push you around. Prove to me. No, don't prove to me. Prove to yourself that you're worth it. But prove to me that you're worth it, and then I'll give you the awesomest mural, sign, or piece of artwork, and I'll fight with you. That's all I could say. But good luck. Good luck. Don't be scared. They're just people like you and I. Stop. Anyway, I didn't mean to condemn you.